Hi guys, it's Krista. So, a few days ago, actually I think it was last week, I actually sent out a photo that said, "What is the best day of your life so far?" And I asked this on Snapchat, I asked it on Twitter, and I got so many responses, and it was so cool to see and hear and just read all of these responses that I really want to share them with you. I really want you to hear how different everyone is. I actually have them all written down. And then I'm going to tell you about mine. So here's what I got. First of all, I'm not saying any names for obvious reasons. Just listen to them and hear how different and how pretty remarkable that the human race can be. So the first one comes from a girl, and she said, my 13th and 14th birthday because I love paintball, and everyone I love came together and shot each other. You wouldn't think that would be the best day of your life, and even when you're in that moment, you don't realize that one day you're going to look back and be like, that was the best day of my life. Another one's from a guy, and he said, when I was 3, that's when my brother was born, and he gave me a Thomas train. It was pretty great. Oh my gosh, this response had me laughing because I know this guy and I'm just like, wow, of all things. But that's really cool, you know. You remember when you were 3 that your brother was born and your brother was considerate enough to be born with a Thomas train for you. And that's really cool, like that you remember that. Another one is from another guy, and it says, my family tradition of Christmas Eve began. That was his best day of his life. And my family all got together to celebrate how close we became. That's really cool, especially since in today's society that families are really different, and sometimes families aren't necessarily blood. And I can relate to that because I do have family that are blood, and I love them very much. But I do also have friends that have become family. So I'm just thinking, you know, when you come together and you celebrate how important family is and how close you guys are, that's really, really cool, and that's really, really special. My next one actually comes from someone I asked in person, and I was waiting for someone to say something like this, and she actually said, the day I started dating my fiance. And oh, that's so cute. And I mean, I remember the day I started dating my husband. I remember the day. I don't remember what I was doing or anything, but I remember the date. And that's really, really special. And I'm pretty sure whenever this girl actually marries her fiance, that her wedding day is going to become the best day of her life so far. But because that hasn't happened yet, the day she started dating him, that's really, really special. Another one came from actually a family member, and hers was another one that I was totally expecting from anybody. I was waiting for it. And hers was the day my sons were born. That seems to be anybody who's over I shouldn't say over. Anyone who is a parent, the day their children are born is something that's really remarkable. 1 minute you are just a woman who's married or not, and the next minute you're a mom. That's crazy. That's so cool. And the fact that someone can say, that's the best day of my life, that's so, so, so cool. And I really look forward to that. I look forward to saying, yeah, the day my kids were born, that was the best day of my life. The next one is really cute. It came from a girl, and hers was the day I downloaded Skype. I met my best friends that day. It's swollen? No, I can't say that because that's exciting. Okay. The day I downloaded Skype, I met my best friends that day. That is so sweet. And, just knowing that you could one day download something, you could download Facebook, or you could download Discord and start talking to people. And then, who knows, 5 years from now, you could be in their wedding, or you could be at the birth of their first child. It's really crazy how the internet works and how the internet can bring people from wherever in the world. On the world? Really, Krista? From wherever in the world and become really good friends, possibly even family. Like, just imagining that, it just blows my mind, because when I was a kid, that was not heard of at all. Like, online relationships, online friendships, like, there was, well, to be fair, there wasn't any internet, like, in every household until I was about 12. So, for the first 12 years of my life, that was extremely unheard of. And then I discovered the internet. And then I made a lot of friends. And I still have some really amazing friends. This next one is a little bit long, but I really, really, like, it made my heart melt because it's really sweet. So I'm just going to read it. The day I met my best friend, because she made me feel human. She found me in the dark hole, the epicenter of an upcoming earthquake, of sadness, loss, fear, and worthlessness. Yet she picked me up by the shoulders and placed me under the sun. I could finally see the sun does shine, all because of her. Wow. Like, that's incredible. To think that a human being can have that much of an impact on somebody, whether it's just being a friend, whether it's just listening to people, whether it's becoming a girlfriend, a boyfriend, it's really crazy to think that you can make friends and not realizing how important they're going to become. So all of those were so amazing, and I absolutely love all of them. But I kind of like mine the best, and for obvious reasons. So the best day of my life so far is the day my husband proposed to me. That day was August 17th, 2010. And I remember it because August 17th is my birthday, where we came to Kingston and we went out to eat. We went out to eat at an extremely fancy restaurant. I mean, crazy fancy. To the point where the waiter comes up and he's like, "What kind of water would you like?" And I'm like, "Liquid?" Like, I grew up in a town where my water came from the tap, from a well. So, and he's like, "Well, we have sparkling water, we have this water, we have that water." And I'm just sitting there and I look at my then boyfriend and I'm just like, "I don't know." And he's just like, "Just bottled water or something like that." So my then boyfriend, was sitting across from me. We were having small talk because he's extremely nervous. He's so nervous, I'm just gonna, like, he was shaking. And it was noticeable. And I'm like, "Are you okay? Like, what's wrong?" He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. So the restaurant looked like, if you looked out, you could see Lake Ontario. And it's beautiful. I absolutely love Lake Ontario. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, you need to Google search it. It's beautiful. I love it. I already said that, but I do. I really love it. So we have our very fancy dinner that cost a lot of money. And then we go for a walk. And we're walking along Lake Ontario. He has his arm around me. And he's about, I want to say, 5'9". I am 5'3", so he's taller. And we're walking along there's like a pathway along the lake, and he's looking around, and I'm just like, "What are you doing?" Like, he's literally looking around like he's going to kidnap me. Like, he's just like, "Okay, what's wrong? Calm down." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. It's all right. I'm just, making sure that no one's gonna push us in." It's just like, "Yeah, okay." So it got to a point where there was literally no one around us. And he looks around again, and I was at that point really, really concerned because he's never like that. And that's when he goes, "Okay, I think I can do it now." I'm like, "What?" He gets down on one knee, says my full name, which I am not broadcasting, and he asked me to marry him. Best day of my life. Why? Because growing up, as I've said in the bullying video, I was made fun of a lot. So growing up, I was convinced that no one would love me, no one would marry me, that I would have to adopt children or something like that. And I was completely convinced of that. So the moment he got down on one knee and asked me to be with him for life, I realized that I'm actually worth something, that somebody actually loves me, that somebody really genuinely cares about me. And that's the day that my life changed. With so much going on in the world right now, like with the inauguration and with the Women's March and all of these things, there's so much going on. We don't realize that what you're doing right now could become a memory. Could become a bad memory, but it will become a memory. But we also don't realize that sometimes 5 years from now, you could look back and say, that was the best day of my life.